Why does nobody play with Reforged graphics? Well, let's watch the replay in the Reforged graphics. You've just seen the game. Now watch it in Reforged. And you tell me which one you think looks better. And if you like this one better, you're banned.
The damned stand ready. The damned stand ready.
I don't know why they're so big. By the way, if you have a keen ear for these things, you can also hear the acolytes sound a little different. There was no reason to make them sound different, but they do. Look at this ghoul face.
Summoning is complete. Summoning is complete.
I hear a greater amount of sussering on all the S sounds. I don't know why.
Summoning is complete.
Summoning is complete. This ghoul face does not look complete to me. The lighting feels off. It's, first of all, everything is out of proportion. This crypt, the skeleton hands of this crypt, or the shop, were so high that they were covering the altar. Once it finally places, you see it's not that big at all.
Summoning is complete.
WC3 deformed looks really good.
I'm here as always.
Banned. Here's Drow. Can't really see her because of the HP bar.
Research
the sounds are different too. For some reason, I don't know why, certain attack sounds sound different. So the Farseer's sound, his attack, just suddenly sounds different. And not to something better, just worse. Did you hear that arrow? As it lands? It's not a high quality sound. Oh, my FPS, by the way. 50. On an RTX 3080. Reforged FPS. And the green color ground does not look very good. Look, the building animation of burrows means constantly throwing dust up in the air. This is Reforged building animation.
Our forces are under attack.
It's also hard to see when something is going to be a surround with these ghouls. Silence, by the way, has no icon, no animation.
Our forces are under attack.
The original, you can see an exclamation mark above them, but they made a lot of things different arbitrarily, so now you don't know when something is silenced.
Summoning is complete.
Did you hear that sound? That's not an original Reforged sound.
Research complete.
That's not an original Warcraft 3 sound.
Summoning.
They added that new, but it's terrible.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade analyst.
Oh, now I saw the exclamation mark, but it was covered by the oversized health bar. I don't like it. What's the weird glow around Ranger? There's a lot of weird glows. The lighting is not complete. Look, if you ask the original artists, either the people that oversaw it or the Malaysian studio it was outsourced towards, I don't think anyone would say it looks good. But you still have people that defend it. It's okay that like some assets had more potential, but it's just not finished. And also, even if the art looked fantastic, completely incomprehensibly, They added new sounds. Listen, look, let me show you a difference of sounds. There's two arguments that you could use for comparing sounds. One is original sounds better than the new one. That's a quality argument. Then there is, I've known the original for so long, it is now nostalgic and classical to me. Therefore, change, unless it is vastly better, is going to probably sound worse to me. That is a nostalgia argument. And don't change things for the sake of change, only change it if it's better. Which I think is also a valid argument for an old game.
The future is ours.
The future is ours.
My eyes are open.
Listen to the attack sound. Now listen to it in Reforged.
Work complete. I am the war chief.
Okay, that's a pretty cool sound asset. But that is part of the original intent, to sell extra new things with Reforged, including new skins, like bringing Thrall from the campaign to become the iconic Farseer. That I support greatly, and this voice, that is some excellent original 2002 voice acting work. So nothing wrong with his voice lines. In fact, this is so good. And it would be nice if you could use this voice in Warcraft Classic. But now let's listen to the attack sound. One more time. Classic to compare. The attack sound is so thin. Exactly. It's so thin and sharp and grating. But because I'm not an audio engineer or a musician, I don't have the words to describe it, and neither do you. But some people here in chat probably work with audio, and they would have the words to describe what went wrong here. They'll know there's something wrong with the pitch, or it's tinny, or certain frequencies are missing, or this was made in a shed, in you know, this is like a one-person job or something. They would have the terms, but all we can hear and appreciate is the quality difference. So when people ask me what's wrong with Reforged, it's not just how, like the art assets, it's not just how it looks, it's how it sounds, right? It's hard to describe. It's just garbage. Let me show you the difference of certain Night Elf units. And what's weird is, all they had to do was not change the sound. That's all. That was the burden on how to handle the audio. Just don't touch it. But they made it worse. Okay, look. I'm gonna show you what Huntresses and Dryads sound like in the original.
Your building is
the great outdoors.
Goddess light.
I stand ready. I stand ready. I stand ready. I stand ready. I stand ready.
Okay. We hear all that, yeah? Listen to the Huntress dying sound.
Waiting on you. On your
One more time. Note how the sound was the same twice, so that you get the audio clarity of that it's a Huntress that died. It's very important and useful when in a game, when a unit dies, it sounds the same every time. So that even if you don't look, you'll know when off-screen a Huntress dies. Wouldn't you agree? I didn't see it, but I heard it. Same 4 times. Okay, now let's listen to an archer.
Run for your life. I'm awake. I'm awake. None.
2 archers. 1 sound. A bear. Ooh, ah!
Hi. I'm
Now let's
here.
listen to a dryad.
Gladly.
The time.
For the trees.
My blade thirsts. We must act.
Ah, the great outdoors.
Same thing every time. Okay,
Command
let's listen to demon.
quickly. Quickly. Anadoranadu. Nature is restless.
Keeper. Warden.
Benthai Delilun. Understood. I can taste their
All right, now let's watch this in Reforged, and you'll hear some differences. And you ask yourself, don't worry, I'll answer for you, but you ask yourself, are these improvements? First of all, I hate the wood creaking sound on that Ancient of War building. The sizes are all off.
Your building is complete.
I don't know why a moonwell has such a big tree coming out of it when it is not an ancient. The building animation for an ancient of lore, which is a tree, is the same as a moonwell, which is not a tree. It is a fountain with waters inside from the sacred, I don't know, water, moonwell juice. Why is there a tree coming out of it?
Your building is complete.
When very clearly, when it finishes, it is not a tree, it is a rock with a bit of shrubbery on top of it. Now you could argue that the tree is building the moonwell, but the original moonwell in Classic does not build from a tree. So why do this? Is this WoW canon? Like Warlords of Draenor and Gul'dan coming back and Uther being alive in the Upside Down? Or is this just something that was built with a certain building animation that is not accurate? Okay, let's go to the units.
Your building
Ah,
is
the
complete.
great
I
outdoors.
stand ready.
The sleeper has awakened.
Your building
Those
is
sounds were
complete.
all the same. The unit finishing sound.
Your building is complete.
FPS very low.
At last,
Very
we
low
shall
FPS.
have revenge. I
My
must
prey is
safeguard
near.
the land.
Okay, this is badass again. I love it. Keeper of the Grove has an alternative arcana, an alternative skin that is unlockable via the Reforged premium purchase, I believe. And they were planning to do more. This is Cenarius, who is a campaign character, different from the regular Keeper of the Grove. And it is freaking awesome. His voice sounds amazing.
Your building is complete.
Good things are possible, but keep in mind this voice was made in 2002.
Your building is
My
complete.
FPS is absolutely tiny right
Your
now.
building is complete.
Okay, I don't think this town
Your
looks as
building
good
is
in
complete.
general. Some things have
I stand
potential,
ready.
but I don't think
Your
it's as
building is
clear
complete.
how much space there is between buildings as in the original. Because in the original, all the spacing was painstakingly made by a company that hoped the game would be good, that hoped the game would be well received. They put a lot of effort into downscaling the animation to make everything clear, because they knew that visual clarity will be key in order for an RTS to be appreciated for many years to come. But the new studio was outsourced. It was overseen by people that were underfunded, understaffed, and overstressed. They were not given enough time, money, or colleagues to finish the job, and had to do the best they could with the time that was given to them, which was not enough. They were pushed for a deadline. In fact, I co-announced Reforged, right, with Blizzard at BlizzCon. I was their non-Blizzard VIP guest to help drive pre-orders. Sorry about that, but I believed. I was fooled too. And when they announced at 2019, the second BlizzCon I co-announced with them, that it was going to be pre-orderable that weekend, they asked me and everyone to do a massive push for promotion. And every single developer that was not the boss of the Warcraft department was surprised in that moment that they were pre-ordering. already. That they were selling the game already. A year in advance of the maximum release date allowance. Yeah, they were like shocked. You could see the soul leaving their body when they found out that they're already selling the game. Because maybe they were still hoping that it was going to be delayed. Because they knew it's not going to be ready. Okay, let's listen to Hunter's Death.
I stand ready.
First, the archer sound again with that lame. Very thin archer sound. Let's listen to the Hunter's Death. That sounded like a little kid. That sounded like someone else.
Goddess
Not
light
good
my
quality.
path.
And two different sounds, so now you don't have the audio clarity anymore. And 2002 Blizzard thought it was important that units have the same death sound. That's why when you listen to a Brood War broadcast and you hear zealots dying, I'm sure there's some YouTube video that covers this. Let's see, are there some zealots? Okay, well, something like 100 zealots SC1, I'm sure there's something like that. This is SC2. This one. This is SC2. SC Remastered. Always that sound. If you hear that sound 10 times, you know you lost 10 zealots. But what about these huntresses?
Research finished.
Now let's listen to a dryad. Archer, archer. That was a normal Druid of the Claw sound. The original. But for archers and huntresses, which are female, they over-sexualized the death. Because that's gonna sell the game. But they had so much material to work with. They kept asking the voice actresses, do another one. Make it a bit more emphatic. You mean like this? Perfect. 10 more like that. That's a normal dryad. Two times the same sound. That's how it should be. But archers and huntresses, for some reason, got the diversification strategy. And you know what's worse? I fought for this to try and make it like classic. I was like, if you guys are gonna make it look like this, can you at least make the sounds the same? Because people get married to smells first, then sounds, then sights. Okay? To channel the power of nostalgia, people remember a smell, then they remember how it sounded like, then they remember what it looked like. It's very important not to alienate the original fans to have weird sounds like this. There were multiple, I think there were 4 different archer death sounds, one more orgasmic than the other. And for huntresses, when huntresses died, they sounded like this and some other variations. And when dryads downed, they used the huntress death sound from classic. It's like they were playing juggling with sounds. It's like, hey, Mark. Yeah? Have you seen that MP4 file called Huntress? No. Oh, here it is. It's on Dryad. I put it somewhere. I put it in the wrong spot. It's in the Dryad drawer. Oh, that's okay, Mark. Just leave it right there. We'll use this new material from this new VA. She was great. We'll use that right here. Yeah, just leave the Huntress death sound on the Dryad. That's okay. It's like, what? You listen to it. You playtest it. You're like, you guys messed up which unit is which.
Ah, the great outdoors.
Besides the archer sounds, the thin archer sound, the Dryad death it sounds normal. But Huntress and Archer for some reason. Fan of Knives had no sound. I forgot. Fan of Knives had no sound. So, there are improvements possible. So when people ask me why, what's wrong, why don't you play with that? So many reasons. Many of them sound actually. Long story short. Yep.